Hello everyone, I'm very happy to welcome you to this fifth episode of Collaborations of Louyard for Time Together. And the fifth is a very interesting story as well. So you have understood until now that collaborations is all about friendships, relations is all about experience, it's all about help, it's all about being together. This is also the idea of these collaborations 178 being strong together. And the last collaboration I would like to talk to you about in these different episodes is the one with Kudoke. And Kudoke has a very particular meaning to me, as apparently they all have. When I decided in 2015 that it was about time for me to be independent, to leave working for others and build my own consulting company. My very first client in 2016 was Lang & Heine. And Lang & Heine was asked by the then investor to intervene in a way that I wasn't agreeing, and this is also a reason why this has been my only mandate over the years that I have not kept, because I decided that I disagree with the strategy. But anyway, Lang & Heine, the person who was back then responsible for sales and marketing was Stefan Kudoke, the wife of Stefan Kudoke. And I really got along with her very quickly. I think we were pretty much aligned with the visions and how we saw watchmaking. And I was very happy to learn that she left Lang & Heine to join her husband and help him building Kudoke. And we stayed in very good contact, met several times. Every Basel, Geneva fair, whenever I had a little moment, I went to see them, talk with them. I put them a little bit in contact with different retailers and so on. And after a while, obviously, automatically in discussion it came up, why don't we do a collaboration together? And it just came very naturally. And this is a collaboration that, as maybe some of you remember, there was not one edition of 178 or two, there was 4 editions. And we, in general, don't want to do more than 2 times a 178, like we did with Joner, like we did with Vianney lately. But when we did the prototyping, we did so many prototypes. Obviously the initial design came from Stefan with his signature hands, with his attention to detail. But by doing the different prototypes, we always, as I mentioned this, I think in one of the talks, we often do 10, 15, 20 different prototypes, because we don't want to close the door to something that maybe looks not as good on a design, but comes out very well in prototyping. And it happened that we did, I think, 18 prototypes of different colors, different materials. And out of this 18, we had 6 we really loved, all of us. And we understood that 6 was too much, so we cut off 2, including black, and kept 4, with one very particular one, which is mother of pearl, which I think is a striking mother of pearl. And for me, probably the most interesting watch, although everybody in the team believed that this is probably the most challenging one. It's always also been the one that sold out the first, 78 pieces. There was a purple one in 78, a green, and a light blue in 100. So there was 2 times 78, 2 times 100 to go to these 2 times 178. Okay, it's a bit of math, but I think that's part of the deal sometimes when you find these things interesting. And for me, this collaboration has a very particular meaning, because obviously Stefan, 300 watches a year, everything from hand, with a very clear design language, second GPHG just last year for his number 3. So that shows how much the community, the collectors value what he does. But obviously also price-wise, not that huge difference. I mean, double the price, 2-3 times higher than Louyard. So it was a bit of a challenge, it was a bit of a risk, but I think we both understood that it was in our interest. And what was more important than the product itself, which has been very successful and very well received. And interestingly enough, just before the GPHG, so I mean, all this obviously creates also a lot of media attention, these collaborations with Louyard. But I think what really was interesting is that we mutually helped each other. I helped him to open a certain number of markets, including Turkey. I put him in contact with a lot of retailers because I believe what he does is really unique. And I maybe haven't mentioned this, but pretty much every of the watchmaker I collaborate with, first I'm a client. Before I even collected or even talked about the collaboration, for instance with Stefan, but it was the same with Chaikin, I bought a watch because I just love their work. And if I don't like what they do, I would never collaborate. So I bought myself a Kudoke 2 with a black dial. And I do wear this watch quite often, obviously not today, but I like it. It has a very special meaning to me. So this is also part of how I tackle the collaborations. It's again a lot about human, it's a lot about personal, it's a lot about passion, it's a lot about respect, and it's a lot about building things together, being strong together with these collaborations. So as I mentioned, we opened a certain number of point of sales contact with him, but he's been also the first watchmaker who actually managed to open a point of sale for us in Prague, in the Czech Republic, which is very, very interesting. We did an event together after the launch. I think it was in October, September, October, and it was very, very successful. And it's very interesting to see how these collaborations, they're mutually beneficial. So Kudoke obviously has limitations in terms of offer. 300 watches a year, there is much more offer, so he cannot open a point of sale as quickly as possible. At Louis, we also try to stick to this maximum of 80 point of sales in the world because I don't want to have more. I think it's enough. Trying to be present in all major markets in the world with all major retailers. But the fact that he said, look, you have to talk with my client in the Czech Republic, in Prague, is very good. He likes what you do. I said, yes, if you do work with him, if you can recommend, if you feel that this is the right partner for us, I will open it. I will do this exception because for me, that's also a way of doing the collaboration, is to create a community around the brand. So yes, this is another very interesting regulator. As you noticed, I don't talk a lot about the product in this particular case, even though all the products have extremely high finishes, a lot of attention to detail. We really put a lot of efforts to try to give an incredible value proposition, to offer a lot of perceived value, but also real value. But for me, again, these collaborations, I like to talk about the people. I like to talk about the stories. I like to talk about how I met them, how we interacted, how we became friends, how we exchange, how we share. And a lot of these watchmakers you will find together with me in Geneva. During Geneva Watch Days, I tend to pool my friends. So last year in Geneva, there was Kudoke, there was Chaikin, Ioner was there, and we all in the same room because we share the same values. And it's not a question about how we're positioned, what's the price level, but what are our passions, shared passions, and mutual respects for each other's, but also for our industry. So thank you very much for listening to these 5 episodes with time together, and let's see each other soon for another very interesting topic. Thank you.